Hello, everyone. Yuval Teren is here, a communication coach and human analyst. And today we are here with Eli Dreyfuss, a portrait photographer, documentary filmmaker, 3D artist, and educator. Eli's mission is to bring people together and to shine a light on the stories in the people that matter most. So I can't be more excited to present Eli Dreyfuss. How are you doing today, Eli?
Pretty good. Happy almost Friday. Happy almost Friday.
Yeah,
It's
thank
almost
God
there.
it's Friday.
Thank God. Thank God. Yes. Exactly. How are
um,
you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. So, I know you, but our listeners don't know you yet. So maybe you can share with us a little bit about what is it that you're currently doing, about your work, and then we're going to dive back to hear your story of what brought you into doing those things.
So currently I'm a high school animation teacher and professional photographer and filmmaker. So I mainly specialize in doing commercial photography and videography for places like nonprofits and organizations that are really going out there and making a difference in the lives of the people. Specifically the special needs community. I do a lot of work with them and really try to shine a light on those stories, and put people that deserve to be in that spotlight in the right light. So I believe that we all deserve we all pretty much we all we all shine, but we have to be put in the right light. So that's really what I pride myself in doing, and helping others see themselves in a new way, through the lens of the camera. So
That's amazing. Yep. So maybe share with us, where did it all start? Maybe share with us your background. Where did you grow up, and what led you into start doing those things?
yeah, so pretty much had the opportunity to grow up around the country and the world. Uh, Started really in Midwest country in Cincinnati, moved around just a little bit, and ended up in Mexico. And that was really where what changed everything for me. It was in seventh grade, moving to Mexico as a family. So obviously, middle school years, very formative years, and I remember sitting uh, literally just in my bedroom. At that time, I was actually sharing a room, did not even have my own space. But I just remember sitting there with a pen and a paper just from school, and sitting down and starting to draw just from my head. I'd never drawn really before that, and always really had issues with dexterity in my hands and strength in my hand coordination. And somehow, some way, through God's gift, I was able to sit there for 8-10 hours for the very first time and draw just freely and really focus on something using my hands, which again were my biggest weakness at the time. Um, and able to sit there for all that time and draw uh, artwork. And I still remember that feeling of doing art. And it's a very reflective time, very what's it called? Very reflective time, very personal time, and focused energy. So I remember back in middle school, of course, those are some stressful days. And yeah, art was always a really good way to escape in that way, and connect to my inner, deeper self. At that time, I was very, very shy. Even going back to middle school in America in eighth grade, I remember literally having my pen and pencil paper in my hand at all points, identifying for the first time as an artist. I knew something that I knew I was unique or different than my peers, in the sense that I was already thinking deeply about certain things, and this is the beauty of being an artist. And that led me to find the high school that I attended for all 4 years, called G-Star School of the Arts in West Palm Beach. And I found out about that school on the radio. So my family moved back from Mexico to Miami, and then we ended up moving to Boca Raton within the next year after that. So I had to find a high school, and I ended up finding G-Star on the radio. It's a film and animation acting high school in West Palm. And after my very first day there, I kind of fell in love with the place, the weird kind of people, and I think it was the first time I felt pretty much like I belonged. Like I was an artist there. Everyone else there is weird as well, so I think fit right in, and ended up there for all 4 years of high school. And from day one, I was always consider myself an artist. And it wasn't until that second week of, or that first week of school, um, where this new passion started to arise for filmmaking and the camera. I ended up in, one of my teacher's classes for the very first time, Mr. Nate Tonneson, or Mr. T. Um, and from day one, he always saw the spark and really helped develop the passion. And I remember literally one day, he just goes, we're just doing a random assignment. He pulls me up after class. He said, the way you did that assignment was really impressive. I think you should pick it up or consider it for a hobby or something. Within a week of that, I emptied my first bank account and bought my very first camera, and never looked back since. So that camera I still have that to date. And yeah, it's a very big moment in time. Because once I picked up the camera, I was hooked. I was hooked on the whole element of photography and capturing the world around me. So, like I mentioned earlier, I was a very shy kid, and for the first 2 years of photography, it was all about nature and landscapes and pets and macro shots of flowers. Pretty much anything to avoid people. So to go on long walks on the beach myself, or in the early mornings or in the woods. Just go connect with nature, mainly because I was very shy and really did not want to connect with people so much. But as I got to 10th grade, I started to realize the power of photography and filmmaking to build connections with others. I pretty much got a National Geographic magazine arrived on my doorstep. That was my 15th birthday present from my grandmother. Subscribed to National Geographic, and the very first one was the National Geographic photo issue, which has Steve McCurry's Afghan girl on the front. And I remember looking at that photo, and at that moment, I knew everything would change yet again. In the sense that the way he's capturing people and the connection, you really felt that he was building that connection and relationship with the person behind the camera, or in front of the camera. And it just made me think about my own relationships with myself and the people around me, and how can I enhance those, how can I make those better. And I realized at that point that it all starts with myself. So right after I looked at that book, I literally took the mattress outside from my bed, put on my back porch where I had a big window and a little tripod, and just started shooting self-portraits. And then through self-portraiture, I was really able to find the self-confidence to connect then with others. So I started photographing my sister, I was very close with, and we made some of my most published art at this point. Some of my very first photos were taken on that back porch. Literally looking at it right now, it's a 6-foot print of my sister that won my very first ever award, the Scholastic Art and Writing Award. So through Scholastic, really, that enabled me to really reach a new audience and again find really deepen that passion for building connections with others. So that photo ended up on the side of Macy's for a year, a 6-foot print.
Wow.
Along with that photo and a few others, went to New York. So I had my own exhibition in New York City, alongside some really other talent, some phenomenally talented artists, the best in the country. And after that point, I kept submitting to different awards, different things. And fast forward to senior year, after hundreds of shoots later, and a lot of a lot of life events. We ended up again in New York, but this time with a photo, one of my photos on the cover of the New York, or full page spread in the New York Times, and on the cover of the entire catalog that started the whole journey for me. And they surprised me by putting the photo on the cover for the rest of history.
Now,
So
I, I'm curious. I'm sure our listeners are curious too. I'm sure maybe we have photographers or people that want to show themselves out there. So how did your art got into those places from the beginning? Like, what did you do, or how did it lead to that?
well, I think it really came down to the confidence. Like I mentioned, I was again very shy, and talking with when it came to confidence in art, it really takes a lot of courage to become an artist and put out your work and all that. So I remember submitting, uploading to Scholastic. I think I heard about on a call board on our school, and of course the same teacher who started everything for me. I was in this class and he saw me uploading. He's like, or he saw me, talking about it. He's like, you should upload. I said, I really didn't believe that I could or should. And I remember that first year I submitted 6 photos, and those 6 photos I really didn't feel so great about. I didn't think it was too much, but of course my teacher was always pushing for me to submit. You never know. And yeah, that one photo of my classmate ended up winning it all. And that was, I think it came down to confidence and getting that confidence boost from uh, my teacher, which led to getting more, you know, again, confidence from the organization like Scholastic, who, again, it helps also identify people in the arts, young people in the arts, and gives them that chance
That's
to showcase their work. So I'm
that's
very
great.
grateful
You said
for
something that
grateful.
I want to make sure our listeners pay attention to something that you said. Your teacher told you submit, 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 right? And I think it's something you never know what's going to happen. And I think it's something that it's important for everyone to remember to shoot your shot because you never know when it will work, when it will get published, when you will
Never know.
get yourself out there. Shoot your shot and try. If you're not trying, you're 100% you're not going to make it. But if you shoot your shot, at least you got the chances of making it work. So it's
Yeah.
an important thing that you mentioned here that I want people to remember that. So we are you're showed your art in gallery, right? Your pictures in galleries, and I'm curious what makes pictures such an intriguing thing to put in gallery, because I'm sure people say, okay, I take a picture with my phone. um uh, what's special in the pictures that make them more than just a picture? It makes it an art.
Well,
What's
I
going on
think,
behind the scenes?
I mean, the big difference is taking a photo and making a photo. So for me, at least, I always try to make photos and make art instead of just taking it. I equate it to something I heard from one of my mentors, Tino Soriano, who's a 30-year National Geographic photographer who I had the opportunity to shoot and work with for 2 weeks in sophomore year in Spain. And he mentioned every single day on the trip, he said, don't be a traveler, don't be a tourist, be a traveler. And what that means is a tourist will just take a photo. They'll show up to this place, instantly take a photo, and then leave. Someone who makes a photo, who's a traveler, is going to sit with the photo, take time and connect with the people, connect with the place, and create a photo that really brings you back to that exact moment that you were feeling as the artist. So, as well as Richard Avedon, something that Richard Avedon did extremely well, and something that I definitely strive for is essentially dancing with your subject. If you look at some of the most famous portrait photographers or photographs ever taken, you could really feel like the photographer was right there, dancing along with the subject. So if the subject was moving, he was moving, or if the subject felt sad, he was feeling sad. It's a direct reflection of the person standing behind the camera. So In a way, it's very empowering to feel that way, but also a lot of pressure. Whatever you are, it's a mirror image of yourself. So that is what photography is in the camera. And it's really, again, a direct reflection of what's standing behind the lens. The way you're
So
connecting, the way you're
basically,
photographing them.
when you're taking a picture, what are you thinking about? For example, if you're taking a what are you thinking about? What's going on inside your head? What are you planning when you take a picture? What is your perspective about it? What's going on
I
in
just try
your
to be in
mind?
the moment. Try to be in the moment as much as possible. Be present with the person in front of my lens, and as I always mention, it's bridging that connection gap between me, the person in front of my lens, and the audience. So it all starts behind the camera, which then connects in front. And if we build that connection right then and there, whoever sees it will also feel that same connection. So really, that camera is a bridge to the subject's world, um, and really helps bring yourself into that place. So whenever I'm photographing someone or a place, I really, again, try to always be that traveler, really be present and connect with the person or the place. What is it saying to me,
Yeah.
and how can I portray that to the audience? The same feeling I was feeling in that moment. How can I portray that to the audience?
Do you have any specific message that you want to deliver through your art, through your photography, or is it each time it's based on what you see?
It's a mix of both. I mean, a lot of my personal projects come from things I would like to see in the world, or that I have not seen yet, or just kind of my own take on certain issues. A lot of, again, also a lot of surrounding self-confidence and self-image, and the way people are seeing themselves. So, seeing themselves in a new way, um, and one of my taglines is "Your image reimagined." So, helping people see themselves in a new light and literally see themselves in a reimagined way or a reimagined picture, that they never thought possible. So that is the power of photography, is to really help, to act of service, in my opinion, helping you know helping people find or showcase themselves in the best light, which in turn brings more light to the people around you. So it's what it's really it really is bridging that gap between the photographer, the subject, and the audience.
That's beautiful. Um, so we did a project together also, and I saw you working. And when I see you from the side, you see a passionate person that loves what he does. You did a special thing with the lights, and you make it. You create something. You're passionate about it. So I wonder what makes you love it so much. What is it What is it in photography that makes you love it so much?
Yeah, it could just be the getting the shot, getting the moment, capturing the moment, when you just know, again, that that gap has been filled in an authentic way. Um, when I get the shot, I know that just like Steve McCurry did with his Afghan Girl, or Richard Avedon or Annie Leibovitz, when they capture the moment, they capture the essence of that person forever. So that's pretty mind blowing and pretty humbling experience to be able to just look someone in the eyes and capture a moment that represents them. The coolest thing is when someone says, "Oh, that really looks like me," or a friend looks at that picture and they're like, "Oh, wow, that really represents who that person is in its entirety." So that's every photo I take really embodies every single, or try to embody everything that that person is. Um, whether that be lighting, whether that be through lighting or costume or set design or anything like that. It's all about the character in front of the lens, um, and bringing them in their story to life.
That's an amazing thing, because I think many people forget that they have a story or forget who they are. And through your photography, as you said, you bring, you shine light on people's stories. Um, so through the picture, through the photography, you bring who the person really are and show it out to the world. In Hebrew, maybe in English too, there is a quote that says, I'm not sure if that's the right way to say it in English, but that one picture worth 1,000
That's
words.
1,000 words, yeah. Mm.
So
Yeah.
basically, through one image, we can learn so much and about a person, about their story, about their life, and it's an amazing thing that you do. You bring those stories to people.
Well, as a communication coach, I'm sure you find it fascinating too with ways of communicating. And as a very shy kid, I really didn't have much words to say, so photography was my voice, and I think still is in a lot of ways, for things I'm either scared to say or I don't have the words to express what it is I'm feeling. So photography is that vessel, or art in general is that vessel to communicate ideas, and it's the universal language
Yeah,
of the world. I mean, yeah, anybody can connect with a portrait or a thing, just through powerful
it
picture.
is. The first thing we see is facial reactions, body language, um,
Yep.
dress. It's all of those visual things but you bring to the person from the inside and make them seen outside. Um, which I think it's an important thing to remember as people in whatever we do. We want to make sure that how the person we would like to be would dress, speak, behave, and bring it to life. Same as you bring it in photography, bring it to our everyday life, dress, behave, act as the person we would like to be, and don't wait for this person to come, but live this person right now in our life. We don't need to
Mm.
wait for them. We can live it right now. So make the decision, which is an important thing to learn from your art. Um, so we don't just see people, we can live this person, which is an amazing thing by itself.
Yeah, and it's really in that moment of presence that art brings. Again, whether it be drawing, animation, photography, video. When I'm working in art, I am the most present with I think myself and everything around me. So that is I think that's one of the greatest gifts is presence. Being able to be 100% with it when for me it's 100. I'm 100% when I'm doing art. I feel like.
That's incredible. So you shared with us that you shared that you were a shy kid, and some people say, no, I'm shy, I can't be there showing my art around. I fear that someone not gonna like it, or I fear from criticism, or I fear from so many things. What can you give advice for people that wanna bring who they are out there, but they fear from something, or they're shy, or whatever is going on their mind?
Yeah, I feel like I am in the same boat in a lot of ways still. Still pretty shy in a lot of ways. I found honestly teaching helped bring out that confidence in a way and humble. Where through making art in interaction with students, it helps in a way bring out the confidence because there's nothing. I really try to put myself on the same level as someone in their shoes. Um, so as they're developing their voice or anything like that, so I'm trying to get onto that level and really be essentially one with what they're making as well. So when I'm teaching something, I'm also making something alongside them to and that really helps really break down a lot of barriers in the artistic process. It doesn't have to be perfect. Um, does not have to be perfect and is never going to be perfect. So it's the act of making it, the process of making it that ends up being the most enjoyable process. Or I mean, part of the process is making the art, and that's why the end result. Um, Especially when working with the kids, it's showing them the process is more important than that end result because the process will always keep evolving, and the art is never going to be perfect. As you get better and better and better, it's only going to get better from there. So don't get too caught up in that, in the result. Really focus on that process and enjoy the process of making something from nothing.
True. Beautiful. So, so we talked about many things today, and I want to ask you if you would need to share one tip with our listeners that would help them bring out who they are out there to the world, or shine on their story and bring it out there, what would it be?
I think just believe in yourself. Know that you have a voice, know that you have a story, and the world is waiting to hear it. And you can't be afraid to use your voice. So literally keep sharing what you know. Just keep sharing what you're good at. The world is waiting to listen. So never stop sharing, because the second you stop sharing, the kind of ends the chain. So if you know something, talk to someone about it, share it, and that's the gift of education. That's the gift of knowledge. It's the gift that keeps giving. So
That's amazing. So keep on living who we are, basically sharing, talking about it.
yeah,
Beautiful.
keep
So
keep talking, keep sharing, and never stop learning. Never stop learning.
that's amazing. So Eli, I want to thank you for being with us today, sharing your perspective, your knowledge, your ideas, and being such a fascinating person that shines light on other people's stories and their life, and make them be who they are out there and help them see others see who they are, which is beautiful. So first of all, you have your Instagram also that I want to make sure people can follow and find your work and art on it, and your website. So just to make sure that I say it correctly, your Instagram is Eli Dreyfuss, right? As is
Eli
photographer
Dreyfuss Studios.
Eli Dreyfuss Studios, ELIDREYFUSSSTUDIOS. Eli
Yeah.
Dreyfuss Studios. Perfect. And you have over there also your website and everything, and your
Website is just my name,
beautiful art that you
elidreyfuss.com.
do.
elidreyfuss.com.
Perfect.
That's it. And then on YouTube, it's Eli Dreyfuss Studios as well.
Eli Dreyfuss Studios. So you heard Eli, you heard his inside stories. Don't miss out also on his Instagram and content. Beautiful art. So Eli, thank you so much for being with us today, sharing your insights, and have a good night.
You as well. Thank you.